pardon that they couldn't quite get in. If everybody just takes a tiny step forward without creating a disaster. So this is Pastor Daniel Meter over there. And Rabbi Andy Bachman to talk to you about what's going on here. Take over, boys.
4 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe, I forget when it was during High Holy Days, 2009, my brother Andy Bachman was Rabbi Beth Elohim. I heard from the news that their ceiling plaster was caving in. He said, help. And so I heard this, so I called him immediately. I said, why don't you worship at Old first? And he said,
well, Dan is D-A-N, and Andy is A-N-D-Y, so I said, why not?
You said dandy. So, we're working on a Dan and Andy show. So they worked with us for 2.5 years, and then Rosh Hashanah, what year? I forget.
Rosh Hashanah last year.
That's no, 5,700. I mean, what is it? 5,772.
Since your ancestors were last circumcised.
That's now illegal in the Netherlands, right? Because it's human rights violations. I heard. Because we can baptize girls. So we said what? So, oh, that's right. So, Reverend Meter. The Jews were worshiping at Old First, Rosh Hashanah, Erev Rosh Hashanah, and they said the ceiling is falling down. So I raced to the church, and had plaster fallen on your head?
No, it felt actually on the cantor's father's head.
The new cantor, no, the old cantor.
No, the new cantor.
The new cantor's father.
The new cantor's father's head. And he was okay. And then Daniel came running down the aisle. What happened?
I said, oh my God, and he said, Jesus Christ.
Just for the record, so far everything we've said is true.
So we had the service, and then the next morning,
for the Jews of Park Slope, just to be clear, there was never a greater day than that service. It was the shortest Rosh Hashanah service on record. People worshipped, got in their co-op shift. It was truly an extraordinary evening. Perhaps the Messiah is already on her way. Anyways, go ahead, you were saying.
So the mute was in the shofar, so it was not the usual shofar that you do on the street if they ask you if you're Jewish. So it was like the mute was in it, and but the next morning the ceiling, more ceiling fell down, and we closed the sanctuary since. There's been nothing in the sanctuary ever since. No Jewish services, no Christian services, no imams speaking, which we've done there. No community prayers, no civic council events, no community board 6 events, no Jingle Bell Jamboree there, nothing, no one coming in on 9/11 to pray, no one being able to come in to pray during Lent, no one being able to come in to pray during any other time. That's what happened. So, and I don't mind worshiping in the synagogue, it's fine. What we're asking you to do is to help.
You sound like 90% of our dues-paying members. It's fine. It's okay.
It's a great space. It's a hospitable space. It's a space where the whole community is welcome. It's a sacred space for everyone, and we thank you for coming here today to help us restore this great space. It's a space for you. It's a space for music. The 3rd annual Bluegrass Bash will take place in the restored sanctuary.
One more thing, if I may. Daniel's not boasting enough So this is the part where I just would like to take the pleasure to embarrass him profusely. This is a very, very, very special Reverend in Brooklyn. And I think all of you who know Daniel know that. And the church itself is a very special and historic place in Brooklyn. It was beyond, and all kidding aside, it was beyond an honor. It was one of the most deeply moving and spiritual periods of time for our Jewish community to worship inside Old First. To exchange the favor of that and have Old First community worship inside our sanctuary is really what our faith in God is meant to be all about. And though ceilings fall, when friends come together, like all of you are here today, and so many of you have been for Old First over the last several months, we're really truly following the precepts of all of our faith traditions and all of our faithless traditions. Ultimately, we all recognize that we're bound together as one humanity. And when tragedy strikes, thank God it's tragedy in which no one is hurt, but we can pull ourselves together so we can focus our energy on doing what's truly right. And Reverend Meter has been that kind of a friend, not only to the members of his own congregation, but to people broadly in this neighborhood, in this borough, and citywide. And the greatest thing he could do is to help restore the church so that more people can be inspired to follow his wonderful words and do good in the world. Thanks for that.